Wow.
Oh,
That looks legit.
Oh, watermelon.
That looks nice.
Watermelon, Red Bull.
Watermelon.
Tastes so good. I will increasingly get more hyper as the podcast goes on.
All right, we ready for this?
Let's do it.
All right, let's see what
Icebreakers.
our question is. What's the most fun birthday party you have ever attended?
Attended.
Dude,
Attended.
I was never invited to birthday parties. No, I'm just kidding.
That was a
That's
buzzkill.
sad. Yeah. I was like,
I went to my own.
start off on a downer.
No.
All right.
Best-
Most fun birthday party you've ever attended.
Bro, I'm going to come out and say it right now. It was the 3-story glow-in-the-dark laser tag event. That was memorable. I'll never forget it. I don't even know whose birthday it was. My bad if you're listening to this and it's you. But super awesome birthday party. 3 stories of laser tag, glow-in-the-dark, hands down.
Wow, 3 stories.
Fun birthday party ever.
I'm gonna go. There was a guy that I was in the military with. We were in Australia. He had just gotten re-enlistment money, so he had a lot of money to burn. And we're in Perth, and he rented out. It's like 20th story on this glass building. It's glass three on 3 sides, and he just threw the party of the century. Like he burned through his enlistment money.
Wow.
Re-enlistment money. And
Wow.
yeah, it was crazy. Like all kinds of stuff going on. It was ridiculous, but you could see Perth because I mean, it was just glass on 3 sides. Only
And
once
they
at the
could
end.
see you.
Yeah, it was amazing. I think that was probably the most fun birthday party I've ever been to.
It's awesome.
That's good. For me, I can't go funnest. Is that the word?
The most fun.
The most fun.
fun.
Okay.
The funnest is a word, yeah.
We're not.
All right.
It is
We're not
now.
grammar.
Let's go with
It's
it.
okay.
But I can go the most memorable. And we went to Marco's. It was a Mexican food restaurant in Baybrook area. And it was a surprise party for me. And as we were driving around in the parking lot looking for a parking space, I looked over and saw my great grandmother in the window. And I was like, oh, is this going to be a birthday party? And we go in, and sure enough, it's a birthday party. Everybody's like, yay. But Marco's was famous because they shoved a pie in your face if it was your birthday. And so we go in, we sit down. I see they're gathering, and I'm like, oh, they're gonna pie me in the face. So I was like, I gotta go to the bathroom. And so I went to the bathroom. I came back, and I was like, I fooled them. Bam! Out of nowhere,
Slam you.
right in the face. And then they stick your hand in the pie as well, and so you can't clean off the stuff, and it burned. Oh my gosh, it was horrible. But anyway, yeah.
It wasn't
That's
just like
genius
straight
for
up
a
whipped
waste
cream?
No, it was like there was like some lemon gelatin in there, so it was like
that's
all
brutal.
in my eyes, and I was, like I was not.
So not
crying,
most
but
fun, but definitely memorable.
most memorable. Sorry.
It was most fun for everyone else.
Yeah.
Exactly. Everybody else had a blast.
That counts.
Yeah.
What about you, Eric?
Most fun birthday party I've ever attended.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time with this. I guess because my memory's not going that far back. One of the last birthday parties that we threw for one of the boys, we ended up going to that place in north of Angleton, and we got on the really fast go-karts. And
Yes, MSR.
MSR, that's right. And
MSR
we just
Houston.
burned up the track, and then we spent the rest of it because there's a bunch of people out there with their amazing, really fast vehicles.
Yeah.
Everything from a Lotus to some guy's Honda Civic. And so after burning up the track with them, we walked up into the viewing platform and just watched these guys run their amazing cars. So I guess that's one of the best birthdays I've attended in a while. So
I feel like there's got to be a plug for that. MSR Houston, if you haven't been to that, I've been to several times.
yes,
Check it out. It's in the Houston area. It's awesome. Go-karts go really fast. But you know what? I think it's about that time. So welcome to the podcast. Let's have a dramatic moment here. And we're going to jump into our topic today. Jason, would you please give us the intro?
Yeah. So from comedy to drama to horror to action, we all have movies we love, movies we hate, movies we love to hate,
True.
and movies we hate to love.
Mm-hmm.
Movies inspire generations of people to dream the impossible. Today, we're going to talk about how movies have shaped us. So, what's your earliest experience with movies?
Earliest experience.
It went from warmth to cold, and there was a great light. Oh,
Movies.
my bad.
Movies,
Sorry,
yeah.
sorry. Just
Mm-hmm.
wasn't what you meant. My bad. You said earliest.
Earliest experience
Yeah.
with movies.
I tried to think about this for a minute just to figure out what was, and I was like, is it the earliest experience with movies like in front of the TV or in the theater? Like back in the day, for us to enjoy a movie, it was either it came on, Saturday night and we videoed it or recorded it, or it had to be something we rented. Outside of that, it would be a theatrical experience. And I was thinking, man, either they either thrill or they terrify or a little bit of both. And so I was thinking, man, on the thrilling side of things, I can remember the day that our whole family went and saw Back to the Future.
Oh,
That was pretty amazing.
That's awesome.
And that, I'm a sci-fi person. So that, I was like, oh, that was just, I had never seen anything like that before. And, of course, we waited many years for the sequel. Or I think about when I went and saw The Last Starfighter, go back, check it out. There's a scene in that movie where, spoiler alert, there's a cyborg and he takes his face off, and it caught me off guard. It terrified me so much. I decided I needed to use the restroom. Told my parents I got to use the restroom. And I stayed in the lobby the whole rest of the movie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
Oh,
terrified.
goodness. Man. Yeah. There's like a ton of different ways I experience movies, but hands down, like everybody knows, if you've known me for any given amount of time, I am a huge Jurassic Park fan. It was probably my earliest memory of going to a movie theater and experiencing that with my family. And I already love dinosaurs, as every little boy does, pretty much. And so going to the theater to see a Jurassic Park movie, knowing there was dinosaurs, like it completely threw me back. I was not expecting such an amazing setup of cinematography and
I don't
action.
think anybody was ready
and-
for what they saw.
Oh yeah, it was absolutely amazing. I mean, they've won awards for what they did. They started this process in movies and cinema that we see today, where you're like taking practical and CGI in like a new way. They were able to do that. So that was like my first memorable moment of watching a movie, and it's become my favorite of all time. I've watched every single Jurassic Park movie. Now I won't get into Jurassic World. I'm a little disappointed in the direction that took. I don't know if this is like a word a term everybody knows, but like, you've ever heard the term Disneyfied?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Like,
Yeah.
sometimes Disney's great, but sometimes they get a hold of things and it just goes that extra level of like Michael Bay explosions and actions for no purpose. Whereas the first one the first two felt like horror films almost, in like a sense. So that was hands down like the best experience. And
Hold
I
on
still
to your
watch them
butts.
yearly now.
Realistic
Yeah.
experience,
Hold on to your butts.
It was the first movie that I've seen multiple times in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
I think I saw it 3. I've seen other movies more than that in the theater, but it's
Yeah.
the first movie
Multiple.
I've seen multiple of.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that was
went
a good
back
one.
and saw it in
That's
IMAX. They released it on IMAX not too long ago. I went
Nice.
back and saw it, which was even better because I saw it on the little dollar theater screen.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess we're going around the horn.
Sure.
For me, earliest experience, it's a tough one. I remember seeing Gremlins
Oh, wow.
in theaters.
Nice.
And
wow.
yeah, my parents were not happy.
It wasn't sanctioned.
Yeah, the grandma, the evil grandma. When I say evil, she was just crotchety old grandma, and she shoots out the window,
Yeah.
and all the gremlins are like, hee hee. And of course, I laughed along with them. Violence against the elderly. It's
Works every time.
And my parents
Wait, that's
were
not
not happy.
It's not a comedy? I don't know. I'm confused.
They were not happy. Once it was all done, I remember being in the park and like, I was all excited, and my parents were like, and I was like, what's the matter? I didn't understand. And
They're the ones that took you to see it, right?
yeah, but back then, that was back before plugged in, or you had any sort of parental
Yeah.
tools.
I-
They had no idea.
It ruined the song for me. That "Do you see what I see?" Dude,
Yeah.
I can't.
That's still what I see.
Yeah, whenever that song plays during
Yes.
Christmas, I see older people just like, "Oh, it's a lovely song." I'm like, "Dude, somebody's about to die."
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
evil song.
Like,
That's a good point. That's a
like
good point.
that attic scene, the camera slowly rises to the nest, and you're like, "Oh, not good." Yeah,
Yeah. Earliest experience for me. So I thought about this. The earliest movie I remember watching, and again, I know I watch movies, but I have a memory of. I was at home. My mother had gone to rent a movie at the Village, which is like a local supermarket. That's just where we rented movies then.
Yeah.
And it was Return of Oz. Or Return to Oz. That's
Return to Oz. Yeah, that one was messed up.
It was a really messed up movie. And the reason she rented it is because I was sick. And I remember having like a pretty bad fever.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like a fever dream, but watching that, like, so that movie still messes with my head.
Yeah. That's a bad combo.
Was medication in play?
Probably.
And that's why Jason did drugs, kids.
I mean, it was so weird. And like you go back and you can watch it now, and even now it's like, oh, that's so weird. But yeah, that's the earliest movie I remember. The first like theater movie was Batman.
Yes.
Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
Michael Keaton version?
I thought of another one. Dick Tracy.
I remember Dick
Tracy.
Tracy. Yeah.
I went and saw that at midnight with my dad. It was one of those, I saw it first. You got the shirt, and then it was a huge flop.
Oh, man.
I'm wearing my shirt.
Look at
I was like, yeah.
It predicted the future, though. That right there, Dick Tracy.
Oh, yeah, it did.
And do everything on your watch.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Speaking of which, what movies have modeled or molded your taste in film? Like what do you come back to and you compare everything based on?
Compare everything to?
Yeah, like what is those movies that like set? This is what a movie should be for you.
I think it for a long time. I mean, this will date us a little bit, but like nothing else has this whole night, right?
Don't worry, nobody's listening under the age of 20.
Right.
Yeah.
So for a minute, like I think it was Lee had the whole. It's either pre-Prestige or post-Prestige. Like basically anything that was, you know, because it was such a good story. It's such a good movie.
It was.
Stayed close to the mic. Yeah. So I'm.
Yeah. Prestige was,
That was a great movie.
It was.
Go ahead, man.
Oh, man.
No,
We're just stepping on each other's toes.
Go for it.
Rock, paper, scissors for it?
Yeah.
No? Okay. Yeah, I mean, obviously Jurassic Park's one that I always go back to, but I also grew up loving war films, like all the old black and whites.
Yes.
I watched almost every single one that's ever come to theaters, and I love finding new ones. Like now that there's streaming services, I'm finding all these hidden gems from like Europe and Asia and stuff that are out there, and I love watching them. And I think two films come to mind. They're really similar to me in their delivery because they're so accurate and they did such a great job. Is Band of Brothers, which is the series, right? Yeah. I consider it a film because it's like, even though it's a series, it really is just a really long movie of telling the story that way. Yeah. It's not like a sitcom or whatever. And then you have Saving Private Ryan. Both done extremely well to the nth degree. Cinematography, color grading, the way they tell the story, how it unfolds. You have the dramatic rise and fall action of everything. They're like the epitome of like a really good heart-wrenching film to me. Yeah. And so I prefer that type of movie, even though I love comedies and stuff. Like I always go back to, like, if I watch a film that's supposed to be like cinematic, like good and good color grading story, I always go back. Does it have the same like content and paid attention to detail as these guys did? So
that was the first movie that I ever saw where when the movie was over with, there was no sound. Like nobody moved.
Yeah, it's
like the only thing you could hear was a few people trying to hold back some tears. But other than that, it was like we just froze. Like what did we just watch? And not in a bad way, but like that was powerful, man.
Yeah, it was a good movie. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Hey.
Did you want to go?
No.
Okay. I'll go for it. And there were so many movies, I think, that molded my taste. There's a lot of comedy. Mel Brooks films. Yes. I think that set like what I thought. Like my humor today is still pun based off of like those movies, right? Like Spaceballs and Blazing Saddles, and I mean, like those are the movies that kind of form me. Beverly Hills Cop. Like that was again, I put that in there, and then all of the John Hughes movies. Like that was like I look back, and so now I'm like, yeah, those are the movies I like. And I was actually talking to you earlier about this. Like, I'll go years, and I'll be like, that was a good movie, and then it'll go a few years before I find another movie that can kind of compares to that.
Right.
So that style of movie is, I think, what I look for, and I just don't find it anymore.
No.
So yeah, that's my.
Yeah. Well, for me, being a film student, I took
Listen
a lot
up,
of film.
guys.
I took a lot of
Student
film
of film.
classes, and I go back to the classics. Hitchcock was I was just a huge Hitchcock fan, and still am. And that and like old Humphrey Bogart films, Maltese Falcon, Casablanca.
Oh yeah,
Those
I'm familiar
are
with that one.
a lot of people will say Citizen Kane is like the best movie ever, and I disagree. I go Casablanca, but I also love Maltese Falcon. I just love those old kind of where they didn't have to show everything, but it was in just that saucy dialogue.
They did
You
a
know?
lot of shadow. I noticed in those films they did a lot of shadow work where something will move off screen and you just see the shadow of something
Yeah.
happening.
You
And-
had no idea,
Yeah.
but your imagination fills in the
left up to
game.
your
Yeah.
imagination.
And they left it to your imagination, and that was just I mean, you go back and look at Psycho, and what he did with the shower scene.
Yeah,
And of course, at the time, he's
Brilliant.
trying to get around censors. And I think if he was to make films today, I'm not sure he would shoot it the same.
yeah,
But that handicap that he had and not being able to show much
yeah.
made it so much better. in
It
my
did, and a
opinion.
lot of films after that drew their inspiration from what he did, and it's so
Yes.
interesting how his restrictions actually bore
Yeah.
something a lot more, I would say, beautiful than if he
Yes.
had been able to do whatever he wanted.
right.
And so we saw a lot of cinema grow from that.
Yeah. Bill Paxton, before he passed, did a film called Frailty.
Oh my gosh,
Frailty is one of those.
such a good story.
It's such a good story, and he modeled it after a Hitchcock film. He was a big Hitchcock fan
well
as
done,
well.
too.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, well, yeah,
It's a
it's
wild-
a
you
horror
gotta
film,
watch it.
but it's a
See, I don't do a whole lot of horror. Like that's one thing. I always get made fun of for it,
Yeah,
but I've
I
always
think
avoided it.
I was
I like thrillers, but not horror.
I don't know.
yes,
more of a
I would say it's
thriller.
more of a thriller than
Yeah.
a horror.
Yeah.
Horror, yeah, gore. It's like I'm not
Yeah,
a
it's
big
not
gore
gore.
fan.
Yeah.
You know?
man, I want to be. I want a good story. I want
Yes.
to be. I mean, wow me, shock me, challenge me. I want a thinker. So when I think like M. Night, he came and
Oh, yeah.
shocked us all with a with a
We have the
twist.
big twists. Yeah.
Biggest frustration in all of movie going in my life happened with this man sitting right across.
Really?
So he's not seen The Sixth Sense. I've seen it, and we talk movies all the time. So I'm like, bro, we got to go to this movie. We sit down. 5 minutes in, he goes, "Oh, he's dead." I'm like, "I'm out. I'm gonna leave this theater right now. I am done. I'm so done." I pick up on things, and
He
it's
was
like,
so
oh,
angry with
I have
So
it picked. I have everything nailed by the time the movie ends. That was one of the few times that I was actually like, I didn't see that coming, and I appreciated that because I want something that I'm so involved in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The story is just wrapped me up, even if it's like strange. I still want a good story. I don't want like, I don't know. My sons and I, we have this conversation. They're like, "Dad, just lower your expectations so you can at least be entertained." And I'm like, man, because every movie we come out of, I learn not to speak first. Hey guys,
Yeah.
what'd you think of the movie? Because I'm about to go off and nitpick everything about this thing, and they're like, "Oh, I thought it was so good." I'm like, "That's good."
It's like you know the thing that everybody says now after a movie's done. At least in my friend group, it's always like, "Oh, it was entertaining.
Yes.
It was entertaining."
It's entertaining.
It was
That
entertaining.
that is
The
terrible.
last movie that got me with it, not so much the twist, but like I didn't exactly see what was coming, and it's
Yeah.
on purpose, was Memento.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
on my list.
Memento. Yeah, it's one of those
I
like.
haven't seen that one.
Again, I don't know that we should spoil anything, although it's been out long enough. You should have
Yeah,
seen it.
I don't
by
know.
now, but
Tell them to go see it.
That's
Yeah.
a good one. Yeah.
That's
It's
probably
rated
one,
R
yeah.
though.
It is. It is rated R. It is
See,
rated R.
and that's what I like the good storytellers. I think Christopher Nolan, who did Memento,
Christopher Nolan.
he
yes.
does great storytelling. Guy Ritchie does great storytelling,
Ritchie.
and someone
Yeah.
I've appreciated in the recent is Jordan Peele. Like his movies
Oh yeah.
are bizarre beyond bizarre, but I think there's an element. There's such a depth to them. It gets you thinking. Like
Yeah.
I'm walking out of the theater, and it's one of those things that you find yourself thinking about all the next day. And then you want to go back and watch it again. Even if the first time you saw it, you're like, I don't know about all that.
Yeah.
Like you can't stop thinking about it. And then you want to watch it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's, and you being a film student, I'm sure
Oh,
you
sure.
talked about
Right.
this all the time. Like what draws us into movies, right? Like, and it's the story. Right?
It is.
And yeah, I love great cinematics, and I will actually put up with low quality if the story is
story's
good.
good.
Like
Yeah.
I can
Yes.
watch a fan film if
Yeah.
the story is really good.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, there's something about that just draws us in, like connects us. That I love
Yeah.
that.
Well,
Yeah.
I think not to get all spiritual and everybody.
No,
I'm not
Please
a
do.
pastor. Unlike some other people at this table.
Yeah.
But,
It ain't me, folks.
but I feel like it's God's telling the story. Like God is the ultimate storyteller, and he's telling the story. And the things that resonate with us in films that make us go, man, that's a good film, are the things that are from his story. Like the themes of redemption.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
The themes of salvation, the themes of, justice, the themes of love, like those are the things
Yeah.
that resonate with us because we know they're true.
Yeah.
And to me, those are the films that, oh man, this is really good because it's true.
Right.
There's
Right.
Yeah, I think
underlying truth.
I think it was Tim Keller. He has a book called Epic, really short little book, but he talks about that, like the
Cool.
story that goes throughout and how all of our stories pull pieces from that story.
Yes.
And those are the ones that people keep coming back to.
We're echoing his story.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
echoing his story.
So when you say justice,
Echo.
so maybe
Sure.
maybe it's a reach, but I find myself in a place where, and maybe I'm just not in a good spot when I'm drawn to these, but I like revenge stories.
Mhm.
So maybe it is a justice element to that
Mhm.
to try to make myself connect to a more positive side. Because I don't know, there's a part of me, everybody deals with different things, and I deal with anger, and from time to time. And so whenever I'm watching a movie where there is a grave injustice, and then that's remedied through revenge, I'm like, oh yeah, bring it. I like a good revenge
So
story.
you're John Wick, I imagine.
I do. I
John
like,
Wick
I like
4
the John
this
Wick.
weekend.
Hey,
Yeah.
I've heard that it is one of the greatest action movies ever made. I haven't watched it yet, but
Wait.
I've heard.
None of the John Wicks?
You haven't watched them all? At
Oh,
all?
no, I've watched all the other
Okay,
ones.
good.
I
So
haven't
you were
watched
talking
number
about
4.
four.
Oh,
I
yeah,
haven't
four,
watched
yeah,
4.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
I had
No.
to pause there for a second.
No. I've watched on.
Yeah, I watched. We've been going through Harry Potter again. I don't know if there's any Harry Potter fans out there, but
Probably not, but yeah.
yeah, my wife and I have been watching through them, and I totally forgot this lady's name. I blink her out of my memory. In fact, when the movie started and I saw her for the first time, I was like, it's her. And she's in this film. She's in the books too, but she's not as bad in the movies as she was in the books. But basically, she's wearing all pink, and she is so mean. Like,
Oh, I know
it's
what
the
you're
first
talking
time.
Yeah.
Well, not the first. It's one of the only times that somebody on camera has literally made me so angry that I wanted to punch the TV.
Yeah.
I did not like it. I didn't know like how
One
she
thing
treated
I
everybody.
will give J.K. Rowling. She wrote great villains.
Oh yeah.
Like people you just love to hate.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for
And
sure.
Yeah. But so I do want to throw this one out because I think this is a fun one to talk about. But what movies do you own? And let's go with one just for time's sake here.
Okay.
What movie do you own? But if it were on TV or if you're at a doctor's appointment and it's up there, you're going to sit and watch this thing. What do you got?
Ooh.
Just one.
I can't do just one. I can say any old war movie,
Throw a
any old
couple out there.
Western.
It's okay.
But I know me and Eric were kind of talking about this a little. UHF,
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
hilarious. I
Yeah.
can just watch UHF over and over. It's a really funny film.
Yeah.
What's in the box?
Man, I think it's going to be a comedy for me too. Like there's one that I own that I can watch 100 million times. Doesn't matter. I love it. It's Hot Rod.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah.
With
Yeah.
Andy
That's an
Samberg,
actor,
you
yeah.
know, I love that film.
Yeah.
So if it was on TV, I'm gonna be in the dentist's
gonna
office
watch it,
all
yeah.
like until
Yeah.
it's done. Like I'm just gonna chill.
Man, none of the
Let me
movies
put
I
my
can think of
appointment
will
back.
be playing at the dentist office.
No.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not.
Or, Jason, what are yours?
So number one, you can ask my wife. Like it's Ocean's 11. Not
Okay.
even the Frank Sinatra one.
Okay. I was gonna say new one or
with
the old
Rat
one?
Pack? No. The new one, a new-ish. Right, it's 2001. So it's
Right.
not
The
super
newer
new.
telling of the story.
I don't know. There's just something about it. Like you said, like
Mm.
the cinematography of it. It had just like it had the music. Like it felt like
The pace,
Vegas.
the pacing of that movie
pace
was really
quick,
good.
Like the dialogue
Yeah.
was fast
It's
and
funny.
witty.
Yes.
It still holds up.
Yep.
Like I watched it just the other day, and I'm still like, yeah, I'm still connecting to this thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
The cast was great.
Yeah.
Like there's still lines in there that I laugh when I hear them. Like I know
Yes.
they're coming, and I'm still like, yeah. Like I don't know. There's something about. I even have artwork up in my bedroom that has like every scene, like it's stretched into a little tiny thing, and you have that the whole movie on one.
Oh yeah, like the colored.
I've
thing.
got I've got two of those actually.
Nice.
And there was a gift. Yeah. So that's
awesome.
the movie for me. Like I will watch that anytime it's on. I'll throw one extra in there just because it's a fun one. But it has nothing to do with the movie. It is Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Great movie. I love it. Like again,
Toss in the bush.
comedy style, right? Like that, like fed me.
Yeah.
So many lines.
But
So many.
I'm not dead.
I want to go for a walk.
we could do a whole episode just going over like
Yes.
just a reaction to that movie.
Yes.
Man.
Message, sir.
Oh goodness!
What-
If you're watching this on
That's
YouTube,
bad.
leave your favorite
Oh,
Monty
yeah.
Python quotes in the comments.
Oh my gosh.
Your message, sir, is such
What
an
connects me to that movie?
underrated one.
It has nothing to do with the movie. When I was in high school, we used to just go around and then like if we were at your house, you picked the movie and we would watch it.
Yeah.
And then, next time you pick the movie. That movie was in the rotation multiple times. People would use that movie. And so when I watched that movie, I remember getting together and doing stuff.
Yes, it's the
Um,
people.
Yeah,
Nostalgic,
it was the
man.
people.
Yeah.
Like I love the movie,
Mhm.
but what I remember about the movie is the people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's one of those movies where I never watched by myself.
We need to make
I
it
would
happen.
See, I
man.
would see clips, but that was a movie that I always wanted to see with people.
Mhm.
So
For sure.
I would do the same thing. What do you want to watch? I'm like, we've got to see this together.
Well, because it was like this indoctrination kind of thing going on because people had never heard of it or never seen it. Monty
Right.
Python, what's that?
Yep.
That's a British film, and they're like, nah. And then you're like, you make them watch it, and
That's
you
right.
watch them, and the first 5 minutes they're like, I don't know if this is funny,
They don't like it.
and then something happens, and
Knights
suddenly
that
they're,
say knee.
Yeah.
They're in.
and suddenly they're
hooked.
like,
Yes.
oh, this
or
is
someone in the
hilarious.
room is quoting the movie as
Yeah.
it's
Yes.
going.
African
and
European.
makes everybody.
yeah. yeah.
I want
yeah,
to
yeah.
sing.
Yeah.
All right, what do you guys got?
I think for me, like I had a list, but I think for me, if I had to just say one, it'd have to be Braveheart.
Goodness, yes.
That-
Yes.
That's one of those, like every time it would come on TV, I'm like, okay. Then I realized I'm watching commercials and like I could put in the DVD or I could watch it on Netflix or I could, but I don't care. Like I
Edited
yeah.
for television.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna watch
Invested.
it.
man, that's one of those movies that the first time I remember the first time I watched it and it was on VHS and I think there was 2 or 3 that you had to go, oh, the
Change
next
them
one
out.
and then the next one. But I'm sitting there watching this, I'm going, man, this is it's got everything to it. It's got a guy that, wants to have a family and experiences loss and then love and then loss again. Then he's like, oh, that's the driving force to make sure everything goes right. Goes back to justice again.
Yes.
So, throwing out there what you said, Lee. So I think that for sure, hands down.
Yeah. Fun fact: I played pool with Mel Gibson. We can talk about that another time. But yeah.
I am totally
That's
Wow.
amazing.
Another fun fact: we share the same birthday.
Yeah. Okay.
One of the
Wow.
things that was
Mel
crazy
Gibson
about
and I,
that movie, when I watched it, I was lucky enough. It came out. I didn't watch it when it came out. I watched it quite a bit later. But when I first watched it, I actually think I watched it on TV. So I was very. It was one of those Stars things. So I wasn't like interrupted by a commercial or anything. It was on Stars. I got to watch
Right.
it, and I was really naive when watching it because I truly believed the type of story that it was building up to. I was like, okay, this is one of the ones where the good guy is going to get some punches through the whole film, but then the bad guy is eventually going to like be done. Like he's going to come out victorious. This is
Yeah.
going to be a great victory at the end, and we're going to see sweet justice.
Mm-hmm.
I bawled.
Mm-hmm.
The end of that movie is so heart wrenching. Like,
Yeah.
I was not ready for
Yeah.
that at all. I don't know why I brought that up, but if
No.
you haven't seen the movie, watch it. Just bring some tissues. Goodness
Yeah.
No.
gracious.
There's few
Or just,
movies.
Just
there's-
don't watch it to the end.
Yeah, there's few movies that draw
just stop
tears.
15 minutes before.
Well,
and then-
The Patriot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
God, I love that movie.
So
when it
many
came out.
emotions in that movie.
Oh,
I remember
love
walking
that
out of that
film.
movie going, I was like, yes, no,
Anger, yeah.
I'm crying.
Yeah.
Another villain.
Yeah.
Yes.
Another
So,
villain
yeah,
that I love
another
to
good-
hate.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you guys got? What movie are you going with?
Mine was Hot Rod.
Oh, that's right.
That's
you already
right.
did.
Yeah, yeah.
I see you,
Oh,
UHF.
look at that.
Yeah, we're good.
Oh yeah, we're out of time. You just killed it.
Whoa.
Wow.
Dude.
That's
All
fun.
right.
All right. So
Roll credits.
Yeah, I know that this is a forced ending. I'm so sad to go. Goodbye for now. Oh, nobody out of the box. Okay. Anyways,
Yeah.
thank you guys so much for joining us for the first episode-ish thing that we're doing here called Forethought Podcast. We hope to see you in our next episode where we're going to be talking about fandom, all things fandom. What are you a fan of, and why do we do that? So hopefully we'll see you guys next time. Peace out.